A murder inside the world's most famous museum, a message hidden in symbols, and a secret powerful enough to challenge everything humanity thinks it knows about history. This is the Da Vinci Code. The story begins late at night inside the Louvre Museum in Paris. The museum's elderly curator is running through the darkened halls, wounded and terrified. He knows he has only minutes left to live, and instead of trying to escape, he does something deliberate, something calculated. He turns his death into a puzzle. With his final strength, he arranges his body, leaving behind strange symbols, coded messages, and references hidden in plain sight. What looks like a bizarre crime scene is actually a carefully constructed riddle, meant to be solved only by someone who knows how to read it. By morning, the Louvre is locked down. Harvard symbologist Robert Langdon is pulled from his sleep and brought in by French police to help interpret the symbols. Langdon specializes in religious iconography and ancient codes, and at first he believes he has been invited to consult on an unusual case, but very quickly the situation turns against him. Evidence is discovered that seems to implicate Langdon himself. The police believe he may not be an investigator at all, but a suspect. Before he can fully understand what is happening, Langdon realizes he is in danger of being arrested for a murder he didn't commit. That's when Sophie Neveu intervenes. Sophie is a gifted cryptographer and the granddaughter of the murdered curator. She believes her grandfather's final act was intentional, and that the symbols he left behind were meant specifically for her and for Langdon. She helps him escape the Louvre, setting off a chase that turns the investigation into a desperate race. As they decode the clues, Langdon and Sophie discover that the messages are hidden within famous works of art, ancient architecture, and long-studied symbols that most people never question. Each answer leads to another mystery, each solution revealing a deeper layer beneath accepted history. What began as a single murder quickly becomes something much larger. They uncover references to secret societies that have existed for centuries, organizations dedicated to protecting a truth so dangerous that it has been hidden from the world. These groups believe that some knowledge must remain buried, no matter the cost, and someone is willing to kill to keep it that way. At the same time, another force is moving in the shadows. A powerful religious organization believes it has a divine duty to stop this truth from ever being revealed. Their faith is absolute, their obedience unquestioning, and they see violence as a form of devotion. As Langdon and Sophie flee from Paris to London, the danger escalates. Allies become uncertain. Motives are unclear. Trust becomes fragile. Every revelation brings more questions than answers, and every step forward seems to place them in greater danger. Along the way, Sophie begins to uncover the reason her grandfather kept secrets from her for so many years. His distance, his silence, and his strange behavior were not acts of cruelty. They were acts of protection. He believed that the truth he guarded would change her life forever, and not in a good way. As the clues come together, Langdon realizes the secret they are uncovering is not about denying faith or destroying belief. It is about how history has been shaped, edited, and controlled, about how symbols have been misunderstood on purpose, about how power has been preserved not through truth, but through silence. This secret suggests that the story humanity has accepted for centuries may be incomplete, that the line between myth and fact has been carefully blurred, and that knowledge itself has been treated as something dangerous rather than liberating. The closer they get to the truth, the more difficult the question becomes. Should this secret be revealed, or is the world safer not knowing? Langdon understands that exposing this truth would not simply change what people believe. It would change who holds authority, who defines meaning, and who controls the narrative of history itself. In the end, the greatest tension of the Da Vinci Code is not about solving puzzles or escaping danger. It is about choice, the choice between truth and stability, between revelation and responsibility, between what can be known and what perhaps should remain hidden. The Da Vinci Code is not just a thriller about conspiracies and ancient symbols. It is a story about knowledge, power, and the dangerous idea that history is written not by those who discover truth, but by those who decide what the world is allowed to believe. because sometimes the most powerful secrets are not buried underground. They are hidden in plain sight.